Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Complete Fitness Podcast. You get Evie Boy today. I hope you're doing fantastic. The sun is a-shining. It's Wednesday morning. I have a wild week ahead of me, and everything is shifted and off. My whole entire plan for this podcast is essentially gone, so bear with me. Just had some crazy things in life going down this week, but powering through, hanging in there. How are you? I hope you enjoy this sunshine this morning. Yesterday was an absolutely brutal day in more ways than one, but I'm referring to right now the weather. Gosh, it was just gray and rainy for the whole day. Everything just felt wet. I went on a run early. Didn't even check the weather app or the radar just because I was like, well, this is the time I can go. I ran. It was like around 7:15 a.m. and just took off running. And I was about 1.5 miles from the gym. And the sky just opened up on me, didn't it? Yep, sure did. So I was soaked and then had to go the rest of the morning. And then got home and went right into baby watching mode, dad mode. Didn't get a shower till his nap around 2:30. You know, when your socks are just soaking wet. It was all day. And then also outside was gross. So I just felt miserable for the whole day. Paying for it today. Just have a chill in my body. Might potentially, dare I say, have a little bug happening. My throat feels weird. But hey, there are worse things in life. And we'll get through this. So I hope the sun shining today, if you are anything like me, is enough to boost your spirits. Core4 supplements, you know the deal. I'll get into that later. But I just want to make from the beginning, as you are watching or listening to this, we have collagen peptide powder now available, which is exciting. It's a flavorless powder with 18 grams of protein in it. And you're probably thinking, Evan, what's so cool about a flavorless protein powder? Because it's awesome for those joints, for one, for your skin, and many other benefits that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I know that collagen peptides are for. But the reason it is good that it's flavorless is you add it to whatever you want. You can bake with it, right? Just add a teaspoon or whatever the serving size is, and all of a sudden your pancakes have 18 grams of protein in them that you didn't. And you know protein is key for muscle mass. If we're doing the hard work in the gym, picking up heavy things, working through fatigue, getting that burn station, huffing and puffing, doing the hard work, you can at the very least get everything you possibly can out of that workout. And a lot of that comes from how we fuel. And if you are not having a lot of protein, you're missing out on gaining muscle mass after doing the hard work. What a shame. If I said, hey, you're going to go do 100 bicep curls, but you're only going to get the benefits of about 60 of them. Or I said, you're going to do 100 bicep curls and you're going to get the benefit of 100 bicep curls. You better take the 100. You're doing the work. And that's how protein works in a nutshell. So collagen peptides, core4supplements.com, promo code podcast, save 10%, ship right to your door. If you are a gym member, we have a few left at the gym. We got our first shipment in. I think each gym got 10. And I'm down to like 3 here at Wix. I'm not sure how Milford is. So get them. If you're listening to this podcast, grab them today. They are fantastic. And honestly, flavorless dissolve really well. Good. It's a good product. I'm thrilled with it. I'm excited to add it to my day as well. I'm talking about listening today. And when I've recorded this podcast, what my original plan was, which it was on Monday, life events transpired that day and they're still going on, but without getting too much into it, it came off very angry and I was not thrilled with the podcast. So now I'm re-recording. It'll be a little shorter version just because of my time. But I just wasn't happy with it. I thought I came off too negative, and it's because it's a dare I say, frustrating topic. Also, it's personal to me potentially because I don't know why else I would have such a almost visceral reaction to this. But everybody on earth, myself included, we all need to listen more. And that doesn't mean just like, oh, I want to go to the gym, I should listen to my coach. That's not at all what I'm talking to. I'm saying you should listen to your kids. You should listen to the new guy at work or girl at work. You should listen to somebody who's been there for 40 years before you, somebody who's been there on their first day. And we get in this habit, and I see it all the time, as well as you do, where we're also go, 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 one thing after the next, at no fault to our own. It's kind of just the hustle and bustle of our lives, but we stop listening. We need to slow down and listen. And the reason why is we don't learn. We stop learning. There are lessons to be learned everywhere. Personally, what I'm going through now in this little, tough time, tough week that I've alluded to, I could more or less whiz through it in my mind and stay really focused on work. And I have a lot of work to do this week and get everything done and make sure everything's great like normal and not let it get into my mind any more than it's going to be naturally. But I'm really focusing on staying present and not letting that happen so that I can learn from this experience. Adversity is something that is going to happen in everybody's life, no matter what. And more adversity is coming. Sorry if that's scary, but if you're listening to this, you're not done facing challenges. And I think a lot of us, as we age and get comfortable and get into a routine of our lives, we start to feel that way. And we need a little humbling. We need a little ego check so that we keep learning and growing, and so that we're people that are nice to be around. And I'll give you an example. If you are, let's say, a lawyer and you've had a 20-year career, and every single day you go in and you do your job, and you have the idea of, I've been doing this for 20 years, I know what I'm doing. Of course, you've earned that right. Yes, you're more established than somebody who's in law school. Yes, you probably know more than them. But if you have the mindset that you're done, then you're done. And you stopped. And you live this life from this almost, ego-driven standpoint where you're not listening to the small things. You're not listening to your body. You're not listening to the way you feel. You're not listening to people that are important to you. You're missing on emotional cues when people are really, having a hard time and they're trying to vent to you. You might just miss out on it. And it all stems from just going too fast. And again, if you're hearing this and you think it's, ouch, this kind of hurts, I don't agree with this or whatever, I'm not trying to single anybody out. Obviously, I can't. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who you are listening to this right now. But if you hear it and you can relate to it, which is my point, which was the hope, and it helps you slow down and helps you learn a little bit more, it's going to do nothing but strengthen everything. You're going to grow more because you're going to be learning more constantly, and your emotional connection, which means your friendships, your relationships, your colleagues, whoever they are just simply going to grow. Now, a lot of the problem is it's taxing. We all have our own lives. We're worried about our own kids, our own families. So you don't care about the random stranger's toddler that they're talking about, right? I get that. But constantly shooing it off and hearing something about, oh yeah, I don't make my kids wear shoes outside. This is a weird thing that came into my mind. And then just having all of these opinions, all of a sudden in your own mind, you're just going, well, you should definitely have your kid wear shoes outside. What about this? What about that? I would never do that. You're a bad parent. And it's all these judgments and these negative thoughts and this thing. And all of a sudden you're not listening to this person anymore, who might have, I don't know, a reason. That's a weird example. And my personal thing is you should put shoes on your kids outside, but who knows? And what was the scenario? Maybe they were on the beach and you didn't hear it because you were all of a sudden Mr. or Mrs. Perfect and you had it all figured out, right? And that's what we need to avoid. Nobody's done. And I alluded to this last podcast. When you are 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you are going to look back at the current you and you're going to think in certain aspects, man, I was so naive. I was so dumb, right? So let's get ahead of that. Let's stop that. When I look back to myself as a 21-year-old, God, what an idiot, right? But when I was 21, I was like, oh, think about me when I was 16. What an idiot. And I thought I had it all figured out, like we all do. We always do. And the faster we can grab ourselves and be like, hey, I'm still learning. I don't have it all figured out. I have a lot figured out. I can be a mentor. I can guide. I can be a leader, which is all those qualities and strengths that we gain through experience. And it's not to discredit those, but it's to also be welcoming and hearing and listening. And there's a flip side. There's for you and your personal growth. And to be honest, it's the responsibility to listen to others and collaborate. We're supposed to. That's why communities are so strong, and that's why they advance in society, and all of this stuff is advanced. It's because human beings are collaborative. We listen and learn. And if you go through life now, just because you're 45 and have 3 kids and work the same job for the last 20 years, and everything you do, you go, well, I'm the boss. I know everything about it. It's shunning everybody else, but it's damaging you, and at the end of your life, if it came down to it, that's what's going to happen when people don't really know much to say besides, oh, she was a great mom or he was a great dad. That's kind of like the end of the list, right? But the more you listen and connect to people, all of a sudden it's, he or she was very, very wise, had very, their emotional IQ was super interesting, and they were always learning, and they were always a kid. And you keep your youth almost. You keep that. It's okay to say, I don't know. And there's a lot of stuff we don't know about. And that's okay. So it's meeting the balance. I think a lot of us just get caught in the hustle and bustle of life when we realize, hey, man, I haven't learned anything in 10 years. I haven't listened to my 15-year-old's opinion ever, because I'm the dad, I'm the mom. I just tell them what to do, right? And I just think, I think it just goes unnoticed for you and for them, and it goes a long way. It goes a long way in changing and being happy. Like, have you ever talked to somebody? And I'm guilty of doing this too, as well as you probably are listening to this, but you're also guilty of receiving this treatment. Have you ever talked to somebody and you can see in their mind or body language, or maybe they're actually interrupting you, but before they're already thinking about the next stupid thing they're going to say before you're even done talking? Have you ever had that? That is my absolute biggest pet peeve. It is so rude and stupid and narcissistic even, and egotistical and ego driven, that it's like, why am I here? You might as well be talking to a wall, because you're not even hearing my response. It's happened to me in the workplace for sure, but in my personal life for sure, all over the place. And, there's nothing quicker to me to start rationalizing, like, hey, this person's pretty not a team player, and that's a judgment by me, and that's not fair by me. And to be honest, they're all fantastic people, I'm sure, that are just in that quick hamster wheel mode. We're just going this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing. You're missing things. You're missing life. You're missing connections. You could be talking to somebody who knows everything about history, and you're blabbing on about World War II like everything, and it's like you could actually learn something. Again, super weird example. If you don't care about history, you don't care about history. That's it. But the point is, I just think we kind of get in these authoritative states in our life just from life, and if you're a parent, you're the boss, and that's okay, but it's a responsibility. And if you stop growing at 30, let's say I stopped listening and all of a sudden started living this life that I have it all figured out and all under control, by the time I'm 60, I've lost, I've backtracked. Or if I just slow down, learn life lessons when hard things come, when adversity comes, we learn from it just by slowing down and not suppressing, and feeling things and talking with people and being genuine with people, and getting angry and getting sad and getting happy and getting excited and sharing that with people, and getting shunned by people and doing these things, that's where the ultimate growth continues to happen. But it is quickly, accidentally, which is the purpose of this podcast, why I think it's important to talk about, it's accidentally missed because of the roles we are into our life. You're a parent, so all of a sudden what you say goes, rightfully so. And so you got to control the household, and you realize you're taking that energy into everywhere you go, accidentally. It could be getting gas from the gas station. It could be going to the gym. It could be whatever you do, going to the dentist. This, we do learn and we grow. And yeah, you know more than a lot of people, and that's great for you, but who cares? It's important to it's ego driven. It's important to check yourself and humble yourself in a way. And I hope it's coming across well. I hope I'm making my point, and I hope you get what I mean. The end all be all is we all need to listen more. We all need to slow down, stop talking, and listen more. And it's the key to growth, unlimited knowledge, learning more about us, learning more about others, freeing our minds of opinions and judgment, and just learning. Just learning. Knowledge is power is the old thing. It's just, and you can learn from anybody. My 15-month-old is teaching me stuff, and one of my favorite things that I want to get into quick before I wrap this up is I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and there's a network of podcasters in this comedy world now, and one of them, Chris Stefano is his name. He's a super silly, unique man. But he tells this story that I think is so important, and I just told my wife about it because I heard it again. He told it again on some recent podcast. He said that he was pitching this TV show pilot, and he was flying across the country from New York to California or vice versa, and he was pitching to NBC or some network this pilot of a show. And he goes, I'm in the process of it, and my agent texts me and he goes, it's between you and this other show, and we're going to find out in the next 90 minutes who it is, whether you got it or not. And stand by, right? Then he gets on the flight, of course, has no service for 5-6 hours, however long the cross-country flight is anxious the whole time, finally opens his phone, and he didn't get it. And so he's devastated. All this hard work he did to pitch this pilot, he got it, or he didn't get it, but he feels like a failure. He has a baby at home, and he goes home and he's sad and he's down, and his baby girl goes, Dad, why are you sad? And he goes, that TV show Dad's been working so hard on so that we can make more money, we can have a better life, we can get a bigger house, we can do all this stuff, that I'm working so hard on. It turns out I'm not going to get it. And she goes, well, so what? We can't go to the park tomorrow? And he said that it was one of the most profound things that ever happened to him. And he goes, it doesn't matter. And I thought I had this whole idea of what my life was figured out. I thought it was all wrapped up. It's make or break. If I get this show, we did it. If I don't, everything's done. It's ruined. And that's not the case. And now it's probably 6, 8, 10 years later from that time. And he's way bigger than he would have been had he gotten that show. But he had the mindset of, I know everything. I got it all figured out. And it was quickly snapped by a 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old, just by saying, I don't care about a TV show. I don't care where we live. I don't care our house. I don't care how much money you make. Can you take me to the park or no, idiot? And it's a beauty. I've always thought that was such a cool message, and is a quick way to slow yourself down. We got to work. We got to do our things. We got to, be professionals. We need to be leaders. I'm in a position where I manage people. I need to be in charge and, in a way, educate and do things. I get it. But I also, if I feel like I know everything and these people don't, it's a horrible way to live. And all it does is negatively reflect on you. And so open up a little bit more, I guess is the point. Listen more, slow down, talk less, listen more, learn more, And at the end of the day, it's going to benefit you and your loved ones. And that's that. This is my wrapped up version. It's a little happier. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you have a great one. Think in your head, little brain teaser. Do you know all 8 Ivy League schools? Off the top of your head, no Google allowed. I missed all but one. We're all thinking Harvard. So Yale, you get those 2 for free if you weren't thinking those. But good luck. And Notre Dame is not one. Notre Dame could never be one, no matter what they say. Love you guys.